All right, folks, go ahead and do it up here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up where this French-Canadian dude left off. His name's Eat the Blocks. But this is going to be how to run a Ethereum validator node on the Pyrmont test network. This guy's Eat the Blocks. Pretty cool dude. Didn't mean to spam his comment section there, but I was ecstatic. I kept making some headway, and then I kept thinking that I did it, and I didn't do it. So after about 11 days, sorry, Eat the Blocks, but we finally got it. So as you can see here, let's go ahead and pull it up. My Ethereum validator node is yielding, and its effectiveness is 100%. So that's good to go. Let's see where I can pull up the graph. Boom. Not quite a hockey stick yet, but getting there. So again, 100% effectiveness. Finally, successfully spun up a validator node on the Pyrmont test network. So in this tutorial, what I'm going to do is show you how to do this, but we're going to do it with a droplet. So what you would do is you create an account on DigitalOcean like I did over here, and you'd go ahead and spin up a droplet, and you go droplet here. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can cancel out of that afterwards. I've already done it. You select Ubuntu 20.04. Shared basic computer plan. You're going to need at least 8 gigabytes, probably more memory,60 gigabytes right now. I don't know how. It's a good question because I know the Bitcoin network, you need at least 500 gigabytes on a hard drive, so I don't really know the specifics on the validator node, but you're probably going to want more memory. And you have to run the math to see if it's cost effective to do it on DigitalOcean, but he seems to think so. So I chose to do it by password. You can do it by SSH keys, but to show you how to do that really quick, I just chose password. I chose a root password, and I noted it down. I hit create droplet, and as you can see here, I already logged in. You can see here SSH root 134.122.1 was probably my password. Before that, it asked me for my SHA-256 keys. I just hit enter, the default, and that's where we are. So again, I've already spun up, I've already made a staging area. I called it Shinebox. I made a directory called Shinebox, seeded into Shinebox, and then we ran the first set of instructions over on the GitHub gist that I have created over here. So I made a directory called Prysm, and then we cd'd into Prysm. And then we downloaded the executables by running the curl command. Cool thing about Prysm is that the command's constantly updated. You don't have to run any other updates besides running the command. So I'll show you how to do that later. Next step, we have to get the beacon chain parameters for the Goerli testnet. So he uses Infura, and it looked like he actually didn't get any success on this guide, if I can find it, but he said he actually recommends he superimposed it and said that
and you go back,
I think I just saw it.
You just copy everything.
So anyway, it didn't work for him.
So you need to
Infura, and so he recommended Alchemy, and that was part of my problem, I think, throughout the last couple of days, 11 days. So that's why I said go to Alchemy instead of Infura. Spin up an account over here like I've already done. You would just go to apps, create app, and then you would just hit the specifics for the Goerli test network. And then you go from there. But we'll go back here in a minute. I'll show you what's up. But yeah, that's the other thing you want to do. Set up an account over at Alchemy and have that ready. But we're going to still go ahead and set that up. So what we do here is go back to my guide. Okay. And then I'm going to pull up a screen editor, my text editor here, Sublime. Call this, I'm just going to go ahead and save it here as, save it on the desktop there. Okay, so it's already saved, and we're going to go ahead and use the convention here that I set up. So it's prism.beaconchain HTTP beacon chain. You get the point there. So, but it wants us to enter in the Pyrmont node, the address. So, and the one I entered yesterday was from Goerli Alchemy, but I'm going to set up a new one here. So that's this one. But I'm going to view the details there. Got to hit view key. We want the HTTP copy URL. And again, you get set up over there. You have to make sure you set up the Goerli test network. So I'm going to go ahead and Control V. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy that down one more time and superimpose what I just pasted over there onto that. So copy, paste. And we'll do that. I don't want to get rid of Pyrmont. If you do that, make sure you hit -- Pyrmont. Okay. It's over there. So we go ahead and copy and paste that. We save it, and we configure the params there. So we don't run that yet, but that's what we do when we do run it up. So we're going to download and generate deposit keys. So we go to that link that's provided, okay, and we're going to do this with FileZilla because and doing a screencast like this, I don't really actually know how to do SFTP from the command line, so that's a little weak on my part, but I just want to make this a little bit simpler too. So that actually I probably can do it with the command line, but I want to make this a little bit simple for the folks out there. So go there, okay. I'm going to hit download. We're going to go here and download the one for tar-gz. So we'll unpack it in here. Save the file. Okay. It's a Linux machine, so that'll work. And then I'm going to move it to the desktop. It's a little sloppy, but you have to bear with me, folks. Downloads. Move that over here. Okay. Close that folder up. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and unpack it on the desktop here. Okay. Note the name of the folder because that's going to be tricky when you do that later. But anyway, so we go to the FileZilla. We're going to configure that for upload to the droplet. So let's try it out. I'm going to upload to the droplet, folks. Okay, so upload to the droplet. I'm going to use the FileZilla again. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the host, so we got to pull up the DigitalOcean address that I'm using. Go back. So it's, what is it? SSH at 134.1. I'm sorry, it's SFTP. Actually, you just enter in the address 134.122.1.196. Username is root, and the password we have is already there. Should I pull it up again? DigitalOcean password, copy it. I believe the default port's 22, but I'm going to go ahead and enter it in for good measure. Go ahead and I'm just going to add this key to the cache. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is upload the folder we downloaded to the desktop and unpacked. It's that one right there. We're just going to go ahead and move that over into the Shinebox directory where we're at. So move that over there. Should be good to go. Uploading now. All right, it's uploaded. Okay, so now let's go back to our notes here. Put that over here. So just, there it is. So go back. Okay, so next we want to run we got to cd into that directory and run the generate the mnemonic, the deposit keys. So we go to that ETH directory, okay, and note that down over here. Just note that because that gets a little tricky towards the later over here. That's the name of the folder. So we go in there. Let's see. Okay, so we go to, and then we generate the deposit keys by running this command right here. Chain Pyrmont. Remember that? That's because it's we're doing this in the test. We're doing this Goerli test network. Okay. Oops, I forgot the period. Didn't copy and paste it all the way. Deposit the executable. English. Type the password in. I'm just going to use the same one that I did over there. Okay, so what you want to do is actually write these down and store them in a good place, but for the exercise, I'm just going to do this. Copy and paste them into the text notes over here. Okay, and then it'll ask us to actually repeat that. So I'm going to press the keys. Already got them written down, so I'm just going to right-click paste, and that should work. Make sure there's no space, but oops. No, so I didn't do it. I didn't do it right that second time, but let's try it again. All right, copy, paste. There, creating my keys. Note the wallet password. do it up here. So it's order of operations, password, bond shear. What's the name of that? Okay, save it. Okay, so we got that. So next is connecting the MetaMask wallet. And again, I do this. I cover this in another one of my blogs, and I'll make sure I cover this in the screencast. But I show everyone how to create a MetaMask wallet and add the extension onto your Firefox browser, which I recommend. And again, I've already downloaded the Goerli test network. But what you're going to want to do here is, in order to get test Goerli, you want to go first of all to the Goerli test network. Okay, drag and drop that once you've got this configured. You would copy this, all right, and then tweet that address. So that's what I've already done. That's what kind of sucked me back into social media here, but I got to be extra good. But as you can see, I was tooting my horn yesterday about the plaque for the alternates in the restrooms. They're not going to be for the light and weary. So it took me about 11 days of just hacking around here to finally figure it out. And again, that's where the term hacking actually comes from, being a hack. Just kind of trying to figure it out until you finally figure it out. So it's not hackers in this like. It's just there's been this term that's been glorified by Hollywood, but really what it is being a hack. Like it's basically sort of among the academics, they call hacks or hackers hacks because they really don't know what they're doing. But I don't. After going to school in academia and actually achieving a Master of Science in Information Technology, I can tell you the most cutting edge research is actually just through hacking on the web and just self-acquired knowledge. So that's what I want to do, folks. Credentialism doesn't really apply to hacking, the art of hacking. It's either you know how to do it or you don't. It's kind of like you know how to fly an airplane or you don't. You can either pick up the sticks and do it, stick and throttle, or you can't do it. You either land the fighter jet on the carrier deck plate at night, or you can't do it. So kind of that's what it comes down to, folks. So anyway, it works or it doesn't, just like Bitcoin. So after me babbling here, again, that's how you get your test Goerli, and you send it to that account. Like basically, you would go over here to that test faucet, whatever it is. Where was that account? The test faucet. I thought I already had it out. You can just hit Goerli faucet, and you'll find it on Google. So you would take that tweet, whatever you did. Like I said, I've already done it before. You would copy and paste your MetaMask address onto a tweet it out there, copy and paste it, and then copy link to tweet, and then you paste it over there, and then it'll automatically send you test Goerli into your MetaMask account. So that's what I already did, and I have some left over from the day that I did it. I think I sent myself 87.5, so I already did it, so I got some change left over. So let's go ahead and do it, folks. I'm going to go back to my notes. Get off that because I don't need it. I already covered that. So again, we had grid node positive keys. Import the validator keys. And I think, like I said, I already covered that. If I didn't, I'll update the gist and the blog post, the corresponding blog post. But I thought I already covered this in here about the MetaMask wallet. Let me see. I'll update this. But yeah, that's what you're going to want to need to do. So that's the next step. After that, assuming you know how to set up a MetaMask account. I could have covered that in there. I guess I didn't. Okay. All right. Well, I'll make sure to update this just for that. After that step up here. So we got that ready to go. Where did I go on the iTerm? Okay, so we got the keys. That's the most important part. So this is where you're going to need. You're going to need to download that key from FileZilla again. So let's go back to FileZilla. All right. And there should be a file that was generated within that ETH. So validator keys. You're going to want to download this. So I'm going to download this to my desktop right there. It'll be like 15 megabytes, I think. And then we're going to need to go to the link, and I don't think I provided that. You're going to want to go to the Ethereum Launchpad for testnet. So again, I'll update that as well. But see if I can do it now. We got to go to the Ethereum Launchpad. So Ethereum Launchpad testnet, because it goes through everything we need to do. ETH2 Launchpad. Is that the Pyrmont test? Okay, you got to make sure it's the Pyrmont test network. We're not doing it for the mainnet yet. This is just the test. So we're going to get started, and I'll expand this over, minimize this. because we're going to need to upload that file before it says proceed, and it needs to interact with our MetaMask account. So I'm going to hit continue, accept, I accept, I accept. This is just stuff you probably won't want to read through, but I've already read through this extensively. So accept, accept, confirmation. Okay. So we're going to do geth. It's already front loaded with Go Ethereum on the DigitalOcean droplet. Then I hit continue, Prysm. Okay. Continue. We're going to do one validator. We're going to do it on Linux. The command CLI. So that's already covered this for you. We already generated the deposit keys. And again, we're going to save that to the PC. I already did that. So we're going to upload it back. So this is like a cover. Make sure it ensures that we did this correctly and properly. So desktop there. We're going to do that. Deposit. That's the most recent file. Open. Good to go. Boom. Metamask. We got to make sure we have 61.9. So we have that available. Let's do it. Continue. All right. I understand that if I lose my mnemonic phrase, check all those, and the mnemonic phrase is what we saved. Know how to send that. So boom. Okay. I understand that. Continue. Boom. I'm going to initiate the transaction. I'm going to hit confirm on the MetaMask. And the transaction has now started. Okay, so now we need to go to the terminal, okay, and run some commands here. So this is where it gets a little tricky, and why I've recommended doing it on the Alchemy, because like whenever I ran that Infura API command, it did not work. So let's try to do that. We'll do this right here. I'm going to grab the my notes over here where I noted that down earlier. Remember with the Alchemy? So we're going to head and copy paste here. We're going to make sure we're in the Prysm directory when we do that. Okay. And actually note the path of where those keys are. So the keys are in validator keys. I'm going to cd into validator. PWD. Okay, so copy and paste that. We're going to need that later. Okay, and then we're going to go back to Prysm. Oops. Should have just done 3, but I just wanted to show everyone how far we're tunneled back in. CD Prysm. All right, so now we run that command up here. That's to fire up the Alchemy beacon chain. Okay. I think that's what we need to do. Let me see. Let me make sure I didn't get ahead of myself. Oh, we have to import the keys. So let's import the keys first. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there. But we can do this from then there. So we have to do that from the folder anyway. So import the keys. Now I know what I did. Okay, so import the keys. So then that directory, right? It's going to be that, and it's going to be to this path. So I backed it up too, because that's the way I architectured this. So I'm going to hit copy and paste this. All right, and I'm going to copy and paste that over here, just for good measure. So it'll go back behind one, back in the path, the key directory, and then it'll pull out that testnet. So copy and paste it, boom, and I'm in the Prysm path. So let's go ahead and run that. I'm hoping this works. This is where I got into some trouble last time. I couldn't figure out what I was doing, but I finally got it. Okay, we got the import. Good. Hit accept. Just hit enter. I'm going to use the same password as I did up there. Oh, it wants a trickier password. Okay, so successful. Wait. So this is where I kind of goofed up last time. Let's try it again. Try it again. So it can't read the file for whatever reason. No such file or directory. Let's try it again. So that's what this is. Copy and paste that. If I can just move in there I'm going to make sure I get in there. Okay, so let's try that. Isn't that right? Okay. All right. Oh, I know why. It's not twice, isn't it? Is it that? Okay, so there's no, maybe it's just that. Okay. The password for your imported accounts. There we go. Okay. So that was one of that first password that we had up there. So anyway, just make sure you note your passwords. I had Boncheer up there, and I used Boncheer W times 008. So just note if you don't have their passwords right there. Again, so we got the keys imported now, so that's good. All right, so now we run the following command to activate the beacon chain. So we're almost home free, folks. So let's go to, we're in the Prysm directory now, so now I have to run that Alchemy command. So I'm going to run this, copy it, okay, and hope it works. I think it will. There we go. Okay, so connected. Okay. So now all we have to do is sign in one more time over there as we've already have. And open up another terminal window like I did. Copy and paste that. Okay, so we're in there. We're going to go into Shinebox again and run the executable. So now we got that set up. We just need to run this right here. That's it. Boom. And let's see here. Get into the Prysm. And like I said, just run that. There we go. So it's going to take a little bit of time up here. It's going to process. But there you go, folks. Hope that helps. Like I said, it's going to take about 5 to 10 hours to sync. I think it took me about 8 hours to sync it up, but that's how you do it. So that's a little, quick and dirty tutorial, folks. But I got you through it. So I might post that to the to his comment section again. But we are now live doing it up from DigitalOcean. They are the custodians of the server there. So that's how you do it. You do it up like that, folks. You keep doing it and doing it up and doing it up and doing it up, and eventually you do it up. So, like I said, started out in Bitcoin about, how many years ago was that? I think it'd be like, what, almost 8 years ago? And you do it up. And then you find ways to continue to stake your wealth by leveraging. And you only get rich by concentrating into one asset class and just hope for an explosion. And you lever up and you just keep levering up until you get some explosive growth. So, anyway, folks. Top dog now, folks. Top gun, top cock over here. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Alex Singleton here, CEO, CTO, and founder of Bucephalus Dev, headquartered right here in Kansas City. And that concludes this screencast. Alexander J. Singleton's Ethereum 2.0 staking guide for Goerli testnet. Signing off. Thank you. Enjoy, folks. Folks, one thing I want to mention here in a postscript, if you must, if you want to shut down at any point in time, let's say this shuts down, you got to restart it again. All you do is you go back to the respective folders and run those commands again, like I did before up here. What was it? Right there. You run the Prysm command by, where is it? Right there. The Prysm.pry.sh validator Pyrmont, as noted here, and the other one to run the beacon chain node. You know, with the Goerli testnet over there, you do that. You'd run that same command up here. Again, it takes about 8 to 10 hours, but one thing I need to mention here, again, this is for the Pyrmont test network, so you're not going to earn anything, but you do want to keep an eye on, let's say if you were doing this full-time, right, and you were going to stake Ethereum, which is about $15,000, which I plan on doing. 32 Ethereum is roughly $15,000 USD. You'd keep an eye on it with Beacon Chain over there. Also, there are a couple other things like Prometheus and whatever, but I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do it This will take around 15 hours until your deposit is processed, and for this really to sync up as well. So you keep an eye out over here. Your accretive yields over here, it'll show up as it's already done with me over here on the other, as I said before, as I've done it right. But again, this is just play money. That Goerli is just like play money to make sure you can kind of test with it. So anyway, all you would do is run those commands again. Pretty cool. But anyway, I don't know why. Let me make sure why I wanted to cover that again. That's the reason why I want to make sure, hey, you know, if you're going to do this, you can keep an eye on it over there. But again, please know this is just on the test network. If you were going to do this, you would replace everything with Pyrmont, do it with mainnet. So you'll see in some of those cases, like with the Launchpad, I think it's mentioned in the Launchpad there. See, it's like 32 goth. That's what we're doing over here. But yeah, I mean, that's really what you would do. You'd use the mainnet instead of Pyrmont, and that's what you would do. So anyway, that concludes the postscript. Again, one more time, Alex Singleton, CEO, CTO, and founder of Bucephalus Dev, headquartered right here in Kansas City. Hope you enjoy, folks.